Well, Amy and I are here at Oliver's baseball practice, and we have half an hour to kill, so let's get through some videos. I was going to do the opening. I was going to do the race horses, the 3-year-olds, but I thought I'd talk about the 2-year-olds since we are here. You went with some of the horses last week, so we're going to talk about them. I did a very in-depth video the other day about the 2-year-olds. I did it without you. It was on Wednesday. Yep, I did it without you. I was on my way to the Meadows, I think. And a real good look now. That was before I trained the horses in the race bike. You didn't get to see in New York train the other day. He was very impressive, which was shocking because I just needed him to do his work properly to really impress me that day. And what he did was very, very impressive. Now, that's not to say that he's going to trot in 55 in 2 months. I'd love to say that he is. I have no idea. But he certainly understands his work and was pretty proud of himself the other day. So you didn't go with him. ACDC, he trained hard on Wednesday. Friday it was too close to train the horses back. It was just not fair to them. The track was closed today. It would have been a beautiful day to train today. But the track was closed today, so we didn't get a chance to train. So we didn't. We just jogged all the horses today. Now, are they wrapping it up? I thought it was 3 to 5. It's 4:30. It can't be done. It seems like they are. I don't know. So ACDC trained pretty decent on Wednesday. I still need him to do more work, and I'm sure he will, but he trained okay. Now, did you go with Aunt Sarah the other day?
Yes, I did.
How was she?
She was good. I find that I'm comparing her to when I went with her probably 6 weeks ago. Like, remember when she I kind of put her in a bad spot, and then I ended up in the inside.
Yes, I do remember that vaguely.
So, what's that face?
That face.
I felt like when I went with her and I moved her, she had a lot of snap to her. She had a lot of, she just wanted to run everyone down. Mm-hmm. Now, the other day when I trained her, felt a little less like that, but we're going so much faster than we were back then.
Yeah, you got to remember one thing, too, and it's hard to explain to everybody. When you are trying to get them at their best, get them there and keep them there, you can't miss time like we did. Like Blue Rare was 5th in her training set the other day. Yeah. And if you're a partner of mine in Blue Rare, you'd be like, oh my God, Anthony, I thought you said that she was one of our best horses, and now she just looked very ordinary the other day training. That's what happens.
Even I was skeptical when you said even a week off.
It's a huge difference.
I always thought, I don't know, because I don't know. I don't work out all the time, but I find like I can take a week off and I'm not.
Well, that's working out to be. It's not to feel good and to feel like you're putting out some sort of effort. But when you are at the top of your athletic, it's the same as these kids. This is why they have to practice and play all the time. You know, people don't realize it. Until you think about it. The amount of work that baseball players put in or football players put in. Those athletes at the top level have to work so hard to stay at that level because everybody else is right there. Yeah. And they stay right there. And you don't want to slip down into obscurity. And, you know, when it comes to the horses, a week, you can tell when the horses haven't gone hard for a week, or especially 2. Blue Rare, I know how fast she is. And she felt 5th best the other day training. Yeah. But my takeaway from Blue Rare's training mile was that she was straight. She wasn't on the left line. She was quiet. She was behaved. And that work that she has to put in, she'll put in. And there won't be a problem. But yeah, it really does set you back this time of year when you're missing any sort of time.
And I've noticed too that some of the ones that were showing signs of being maybe a little bit sore were grabby, and now they're not. And
so now you're understanding the correlation between soreness and hot. You know, people see the horses they look sharp and they look hot, but sometimes what they are is a little frustrated because they're sore. Yeah. And it happens in race horses too. You'll see horses score down and they feel great. I drove a horse the other day and he scored down and he was sharp, but it just felt to me like you can tell when they're sharp but they're not comfortable. Yeah. More times than not, it's just attributed to soreness. And sure enough, that horse
they usually don't finish up good. They usually are really good at the start, and then they
and that's the whole thing, is that they don't finish up the way they should. And when it comes to he didn't even make it to home plate.
Was that Ollie?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was Ollie. They're practicing sliding headfirst into home, and the kid slid and come up about that much short of home plate. So, Yes. So you see a lot of the horses now, but you can also see the horses that we were protective of 6 weeks ago with their knees. They're starting to come forward now because their knees are starting to cool down. They're starting better. So, and this goes back to my personal philosophy as far as training the babies are concerned. When you see them be a little bit sore back when you're going in 20, it's not the end of the world. You can work with that. It's the one. The next guy did it too.
Tripwire right there.
Yeah. When you're working with the babies like that, it doesn't mean that you just stop and put them in the stall. Sure, they'll fill in, but my theory on it is simple. We have protocols in place where we can manage the horses that start to get a little pinchy in 220, 215. I expect it to happen when you bring the corks off and you start to show them some speed. Just the difference in the gait, the difference in the torque and the speed, it does cause some you can see the horses that just aren't quite ready to do that. Now, my theory on it is simple. You can't hide from that. And I believe if you hide them, you protect them, and then you go to qualify them and race them, well, the added torque and pressure on those knees, ankles, feet can cause fractures. Whereas what we're seeing is minor soreness that we can back off with them and manage it. And I believe that's why we have all our horses in the position that they're in right now. We've been lucky about it, but I think we're much more meticulous about doing it also. So that was Aunt Sarah. She trained good. She's getting better. But again, she's much like Blue Rare. She did miss a week or two of hard training, and you have to put that in. Bianca Spiaggio is in the pool right now and will start back, I believe, in about 3 weeks. I believe is the plan. I told you I met with Mr. Swagger. He was going in his truck across the parking lot, and I was walking towards the paddock, and he pulled up. We'd never met, and we just talked about the colt and where we're at with him and where we'd like to be, and I think we're in a good place. Very similar situation. His right front leg filled up. There was no tears or lesions or anything of that kind, but there was what you might call a mild strain, right? You don't want to turn a blind eye to that stuff. Harry was right to get it checked. We caught it in plenty of time, and he's fine now. I don't think this kid's got enough gloves. He's stuffing stuff in his back there. He's got 2 sliding mitts. That's not all, yeah.
No.
So we talked about Blue Rare, Capistrano Nights. We didn't touch enough on her. I told you,
You told me what?
That filly would come around. You were very worried about her. In fact, you were a little scared of her this winter. And I told the other lather up filly acted the same way. Very almost schizophrenic, just goofy and looking at stuff and would make breaks and just do stuff that kind of gives you pause.
I wouldn't say I was afraid of her. I just didn't like that every time I went with her, she would be fine until the very end and she would run at the wire.
Well, because she's excitable. That's why. And by the way, we just talked about what else it could be. Maybe her knees or ankles were bothering her, but the work we put in, the paint we put on her, all that stuff played a big role in what she's become now. Now, I would call the mile the other day, hopefully a foundation mile. I would like to say that is her now default, her normal. She was very, very good the other day and looked very strong.
Yeah,
Didn't look like she was going to run.
No, she wasn't at all.
Yeah. I thought she looked very good. Another horse you went with, and I was singing his praises last night, Captain Doolittle. Horse, you can never tell. For all of you out there that were counting him out, I think you are going to be surprised with what the final product is. Now, a lot of times when you have horses that interfere. As you start to feed them speed, it compounds, right? You're always trying to change your shoes and get them right. We went to a little more aggressive shoeing on Captain Doolittle from the start, and I believe he learned to go with it. It helped him. His confidence grew, and now he's becoming a stronger horse because of it. When I look at Captain Doolittle, I saw a horse that was, again, the other day I talked about a ladder, right? Here's number 1, who has been Perfect Thought forever, and here I'm not going to mention the last horse. No. Right? Yeah, that would be unfair, but we know who Lickly is. That would be unfair. But Captain Doolittle was amongst the bottom. He just was. And there was concerns from a lot of our clients. Jim was one of them. He said, I own a lot of shares of this colt. Maybe we should just dump him. And I said, Jim, it doesn't make much sense to dump him right now. He's worthless. And what benefit do you have for dumping him? Just qualify him, and if he's not as good as we hope when we qualify him, we'll sell him after that. Here comes Big Quince. He's not going to slide. No, he's not. No, he just stepped on the plate. It's the cutest kid. There's this kid, a big, heavy-set kid that plays on the team, and he's the coolest dude. And everybody cheers for him, right? Everybody.
He's like a little Vladdy.
Yeah, he does look like him, yeah. But he can hit the ball hard, too. He's a good little player. So Captain Doolittle, as of right now, I would say I would be confident in saying he's going to qualify. And I would tell everybody, I'm a little more optimistic than some of you guys are now when it comes to Captain Doolittle. I like horses that get the job done, and you beat us now training. I actually held on to beat you.
I didn't win. I went back and watched it, and I said,
Neuromancer, I beat you.
I thought
you beat me too until I looked. I was going to give you the win, but he thought he won, and he was very, very good in doing it. Another horse has improved greatly is Cherry's Girl. I jogged her yesterday. Her ears were up the whole time on the track. Her
ears have always been up.
No, you chirped her or anything, she'd lay her ears in her neck and be cranky. She seems dialed in now.
She is one of those ones, though, that... Where did you jog her? On the back? Oh, obviously on the back track?
Yeah.
Or was that today?
Yeah, it was today. Yeah. No, it was yesterday.
She literally still spooks at the weirdest things. Like, she sees the weirdest things on the track.
Yeah, but that's just immaturity. But she looks very strong now and very, very powerful. I was really happy with what I saw from Cherry's Girl, not just this week, but over the last 3 weeks. She's definitely improving in big ways. Degas, now I didn't have my eyes peeled on Degas the other day. I had a lot on the go, and Eric just said she was great. I went back and watched the video. She was good. It's hard for me. He didn't push her, and I'm glad he didn't. We already know what she can do. She's one of those horses that is getting past that stage where their knees were bothering them a little bit. She was on a line. She wore a head pole and a Murphy. We took most of that off. She's trotting through the turns very strongly now. So I don't think she's quite ready just yet to really drop the hammer on, but I was really, really happy with what I've seen from Degas. Now, I guess in the weeks leading up to today, number 18?
It is.
Yeah, he's got 10 gloves sticking out of his arse there. Look at him. Why do you need some? He's
got
2 on. He's got 2 sliding mitts on.
I didn't know that his practice shirt was a different number.
What a knob. So Degas, probably... I'm toying with the idea of booking off Melisandre Wednesday at the Meadows, putting Ronnie on Melisandre. I am, because I want to stay. We're going to do some gate schooling on Wednesday. Now, the only hindrance I have at this moment, I'm going to watch it over the next day or so, they're calling for rain on Wednesday morning.
Of course they are.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of rain. I was hoping it was going to be beautiful like this, but there's nothing saying it could change for the worse also after that. So I'm hopeful, and I'm thinking that maybe we could do every Wednesday in May. They have the gate out Wednesday starting at 11 a.m. And I'm sure Steve would be happy to show up, our video guy, and video those for us. Ooh. I would say I would want to go off the gate Wednesday. Now, they missed Saturday's training, so there might be a couple of them might be a little soft, but I would like to go a mile in 2.8, 2.7, 2.8 with them off the gate on Wednesday. That's my plan right now. I haven't told anybody this, but that's my plan right now. I just told you that. And they all know now too. Don't ask. Diosa Della Danza has been tremendous. Amongst the top of the class, she is getting better, stronger, and faster effortlessly every single week, and looked great again the other day. Training. You haven't gone with her in a long time, have you?
Never gone with her.
Really? You've never gone with her?
No.
Probably because she jumped over stuff before. I know Jason is. Put in his resume. He jumped off of Diosa Della Danza in regards to driving her, because I think she put in a couple of steps on him sometimes. I get along great with her. I love her, and Tyler likes her too. So she has been great and continues to be great. Don't Ask Again has not transitioned the same as Cherry's Girl, but I will say this. We did train on the race bike on Friday. Or no, we didn't train her on the race bike. We trained Leland Hanover and her. And I'm like, geez, both of them are a little salty on the front. I don't know if I want to. But Leland Hanover was
and there's people roofing.
Yeah, Leland Hanover was not a fan of the roofers at all on the paddock. But he went by them. He was very, very strong training, and she finished up right on my back. So I was pretty happy with her, I think, the other day. I'm going to call that her first steps forward. And after watching Cherry's Girl change, I hope to see her also. Look at the big fella lumber in there. Look. He's just going to lay there and die. Dune, top of the shelf. She has been absolutely fantastic of late. Really, really happy with Dune. Emerald Tom. I have to go with Emerald Tom this week. There's a couple of horses I got to go with. I was going to go with them, but I couldn't go with them Friday because he did go a good mile the other day. But I will go with him Monday, see if I can see what's going on with him, see if we're going to make any adjustments to his equipment or his shoeing, and then we will go back Wednesday. So there will be a couple of horses on this list that I'll go a very subdued slow mile with, maybe just sprint them for 1/8 of a mile, see if I can see what's going on with them before we get into Wednesday's gate schooling attempts, and Emerald Tom is one of them. Go Strong Hanover won't be able to go behind the gate this week. He was just castrated. Now Perfection Hanover missed training this week on Friday, but he will be going behind the gate also. We'll maybe have a slower set, like 2:10, 2:11, and he can win that set. But again, he's missed some time training, so expectations be tempered there. Head to Know will also go. I think we can put him in a slower set also, Head to Know. Although I think he can go lots. He's a fast colt. It is concerning. The quarter cracks are concerning. It's a huge concern. One that we continue to deal with, and we're going to continue to deal with for quite some time, I believe. He's just one of those horses where it's going to be a problem. I don't think you're ever going to see him grow out of it. It's likely something he was born with. I would bet good money if you went back and looked at his mother. Maybe she had an issue with quarter cracks also. So Head to Know doing his work well. I think, I know Johnny was kind of hard on himself the other day, but he did put him on the run. I wasn't going to come right out and say.
I feel like he might have. Did he pull up or something?
No, he moved him.
Right
he tried
by
to.
The gate.
Well, he tried to move him right when we started to step on the gas, and I think he was outside struggling
That's
a bit.
not a very good spot to
do that. And he made a little bit of a break.
Because that's literally where every horse runs. That you put if you push them. If they don't want to be pushed,
they will, because they look at the gate, they lose their train of thought, and they run.
Jailbird used to run.
Exactly right. Yep. Hanger 1 is sound now. He's jogging good. We're probably going to jog him all week. In a perfect world, by the end of the week, we might be able to get another training session into him. But that foot was nasty.
That was
nasty, gross.
I wonder how long it was in there.
Well, it had to be in there for quite a while. It had to be in there for quite a while.
Because it has to find a spot to blow out.
And that wasn't something he ripped. It was quite a separation. It was a problem. So he's better now. We'll see how he is this week. He's a Fearless Peter got run into the other day training. Justin ran right over his wheel.
I know.
Almost caused a wreck.
So did his foot go in? Remember when that happened?
Yeah, he said it was for a second and almost got stuck. So when you hit that jog cart tire, sometimes
it sucks their foot in.
That's right, it can. And usually you'll break the fender, which it didn't break, so I don't know really how close it was to going in. Usually what'll happen is that they hit it, it go bzz, and it'll zip them up, snap the fender off, and then they usually bounce off it, or in worst case scenario like Miss Meringue that time, she gets stuck in the tire. But he didn't even break the fender, so I think he just hit the wheel and may have been a little concerned about it. Luckily, he might have thrown a little scare into himself over the whole ordeal. I told him, I said, it's just another day in the neighborhood, but don't worry about it.
The rest of our horses didn't seem bothered by it.
No, they're like, "Look at this idiot! Nice wheel job, bud." Highest Honors trained good, but he was in with. I didn't think we were going to go that much, but I certainly wasn't going to slow down in New York. If he wanted to go a little bit faster, I was not going to stop him from doing it. So Highest Honors was left trying to catch up to us in a jog cart. And it was a big mile for him. He was pretty tired afterwards. But I can assure you one thing. You're going to see him look much, much better this week training. That was a good mile to tighten him up. In New York, starting there. The fastest horse we have right now is in New York. That's the fastest horse that we have in the barn right now. He was surprisingly and exceptionally good the other day. Very, very happy with him. Jailbird Jog, an absolute powerhouse the other day. That mile she followed 2 fingers on a helmet. 2 fingers on a helmet. I moved her over and she was all business. Really, really happy with the way Jailbird Jog has been the last 2 weeks. Joe J. Fotag is virtually the opposite. I have not been pleased with her. She just, and I know that Joel and I own a big chunk of this mare. I wanted her to be so good for him. He's just such a nice man. And it just, maybe she'll be one horse that we get behind the gate and it clicks and she just get better and better and better. I have seen that happen before, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say she was a little disappointing to date. Jolene Hall was good too. Have you sat behind her for a while?
Not in a long time.
Yeah, she was really good the other day. Somebody said, I wish she had kept up. It was going to be really hard to keep up to Tomboy Strong and Jailbird Jog. Almost impossible. Those are 2 fillies that are at the top of our burn as far as trotters are concerned. Both were exceptionally good the other day training.
She's like half the size of Tommy.
Exactly. She's half the size of both those horses. Well, no, I guess Jailbird's not big. But Jolene Hall also spent a lot of time on the run, so hasn't really got that full work hard, right to the wire workouts because she's made quite a few breaks. But I think you're going to see her get better and better and better. I asked the other day and they said no. There was at 0 point. I think Jason Merriman went there. He said at no point did I feel she was going to make a break, which is good. Judy's Money, a little soft. They blistered her knees and stuff. I think she's going through another growth spurt. She did this about a month and a half ago.
She's so big.
Yeah. Well, she did this like a month and a half ago. She was terrible for like 2 weeks, and then boom, she took off again. And I think we're halfway through one of those waves again with Judy's Money. It doesn't appear to be soreness or lameness. Sure, her knees might be a little pinchy, but Eric said she was really rough in the turns and on the right line. Leads me to believe that maybe she's going through a little growth spurt again. Those knees are a little pinchy. So, actually, now that I said it out loud, maybe I should go there Monday just to see how she feels. I don't want to put her behind the gate and go a fast mile with her if she's not quite ready just yet. Especially when Judy's Money herself doesn't have to race for 2 months. Right? They don't race till July. You know, we talk about Ohio.
Yeah, but she was in August.
Yeah, we were talking, but none of that matters.
That's when I bought her.
Yeah, none of that matters. So, we are talking about the next generation when we talk about getting an Ohio horse ready. And if we're looking at the scoreboard, you guys know we've talked about it. It hasn't changed. Highest honors for sure, and Diosa Della Danza are going to be our representatives on the pacing side. We have to get the spots too. They have to draw for these spots. There's no guarantees.
What do you mean?
So they changed the entire format from when they first started doing it. Now you have to pay $8,000 in April, or $10,000 in May. But if you wait to May to pay the $10,000, you are waiting behind everybody that paid $8,000. You're late to the party. So everybody that bought the spot for $8,000, remember they go for $150 now.
We didn't.
Oh yeah, we bought a spot for each one, but they draw. There's not. It used to be there was 6, and then they'd sell one on gate, and they'd try and get somebody to buy another one. That's not the case now. Last year they drew. We were just lucky enough to get in. But this year they're going to draw also. So I'm assuming we'll get in, but I shouldn't be that presumptuous. But as of right now, Diosa Della Danza highest honors, and the 2 trotters that are leading the pack are Tomboy Strong and Uncle Danny, and that is the way it sits right now. There's less gray area when it comes to, there's no gray area on the pace side. On the trot side, there's a little bit of separation right now. Those 2 horses are doing very, very good. So where were we? Judy's Money, she'll be fine. I think I'm going to go a slow mile with her Monday just to see how she feels to me. Leland Hanover was great. He does have a quarter crack now. That crack is split up a little bit. So he did take the pressure off it. So by Monday it may not be, and it might be fine by next Wednesday. This was a man-made quarter crack. It wasn't just a foot.
It's a lawnmower quarter crack.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the lawnmower scared me, jumped on his foot, and it cracked up because of that. So it wasn't from pressure he was putting on it. So I think he's less likely for that to be a lingering problem. In fact, come Monday, it may not bother him at all anymore. Lifting Legend was good this week. Now they're going to Mohawk on Wednesday to train the horses. Probably going to go a mile in 13 or 14, I would imagine. Wednesday at Mohawk. I'm not going to be there, but James said he wanted to go. Wednesday. He had some stuff to do Saturday. His son plays baseball. He didn't want to rush, so he said they're going to go Wednesday. And Lifting Legend has been doing his work well. Love Sensation was great the other day. She was actually, I talk about how good in New York was. She was going past me in the last turn and hit the wheel 3 times in Lauren's bike. I should have just went out and got Jason's bike or put the big bike on her. But, well, it was convenient. And I said, she's not a big filly. She's not going to hit
She
it.
is a big filly.
Yeah, but not for a racehorse. And I thought she'd be fine on the bike, and she was not.
What did I say to you when you asked me if I wanted to go?
What? I don't remember. I thought you were talking about that black thing in your tooth. Yeah, I do remember you saying that now. Megan's lucky day made a break on Tyler, but that wasn't her fault. I think I will go with her Monday just to make sure, but I'm sure she's fine. Millie Girl, you've gone with her. You can tell them about Millie Girl. I haven't gone with Millie Girl.
I did not want to be first up with her, but it was hard. There was only 4 of us in that set.
Mm-hmm.
She was good.
Tyler wasn't coming with the Diosa Della Danza, I don't think, right away. You were going to have to come first over regardless. And she was very, very good. Jacob was asking me about her yesterday. I said, I don't know, man. So here's the thing. In New York, it had been a mile in like 15 or 16 in the jog cart a number of times. And that was
and not on gate.
and made multiple, you'd have to look for a flat line. And then he won a mile in 2.7 the other day, and like nothing, and he couldn't blow a match out when he came in. And I said to Eric, I said, the one thing I'm certain is when we're done training these horses and they're ready to race, you can be sure they'll be in shape. And I like the way we train them. I like the 1.5 miles training them down. It clearly is enough work to get them where they need to go. They're all ready to rock right out of the gate. And like every other horse, they get tired near the end of the season, but they're still good right to the end of the season. Every single one of them. And, Memento Mori set that world record late in the season also. That was like his 7th start. 8th start. He was qualified in the Meadows, then he went to Oak Grove, then he went to Kentucky.
End of August or something.
It was like the Bluegrass or something he won. Yeah. So, no, it might have even been later than that, because wasn't the... Yeah,
I know
because...
we took the kids out of school. Yeah.
Pickpocket won the Bluegrass the year before, and it was on sale day. Remember, they were selling the next week. Yeah, so it was September. So, I mean, those horses, they stay fresh straight through the year. So, I like the program that we have put in place for our horses. So Millie Girl good. My Name is Swaney was good again. We were worried she was getting a little pinchy, and I think what it was old Enos, the Amish Edward Scissorhands, our blacksmith. I think he just took a little too much.
He doesn't have any.
No, he's not going to get that. Phone. He's not going to get a flip. He's not getting this video on his flip phone or his fireplace. So, yeah, he took a lot of toe off of the filly. And I think she was just a little footsore. We pulled the shoes off her, poulticed her for the weekend, put the shoes back on Monday, and she was fine. And she was great training the other day. If you watch, I come a very good last half. He was well behind me when he started My Name is Swaney up, and he finished within a length of me. He was, that was Jailbird Jog.
Oh.
He went a huge last half also. Where are we at? Neuromancer, getting better. I watched him jog today. He was sound. That foot wasn't bothering him at all. Amy had said his tail is really loose. We're going to continue to work on assuming he's got a little touch of EPM that bothers him. That's such a catch-all, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't help him and it won't help him. He's been on Baycox, but I think we may switch. I'm going to ask Dr. Tess if it would help to put a run of diclozerol jug into him, if that would help. I know it's mostly for the racehorses, but we'll see. That might be an option also. Perfection Hanover, there was still some swelling in his castration site the other day, so we couldn't train him on Friday, but I'll train him a slow mile on Monday, maybe 45 or 50, and he'll come back Wednesday in the race bike. I think 210 to 212 would be a fine mile for him. Perfect Thought, probably 2.4, 2.5 with her. These horses,
why do they need to go that much?
Well, they don't need to go much at all, but I think you can go a mile in 2.7 or 2.6 if you want, but I think it was a very good play by Leo. I think you're assuming when you say too much, but you're at May 15th, right?
I know, but it's just the R-Tracks that's smaller. Like you're saying the ones at Mohawk are going to go in.
Yeah, but it is and it isn't the same, right? They're going that speed, but when they're going that speed, there's no hesitation like a half-mile track. I don't think they're going to have any problems that way. You are right in a certain sense. Before we start prepping them, Perfect Thought to go to the Meadowlands and Millie Girl for Pennsylvania. We may, and I might, if we're going to have, and I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. No positive, no, I'm not certain, but if we have our open house on June the 22nd, Blue Rare and a number of those horses will have to qualify before that day. So Blue Rare would likely go to Pennsylvania or Mohawk. Millie Girl would go over to Pennsylvania. Perfect Thought for sure would have to go over to Pennsylvania. By Pennsylvania, I mean the Meadows. Or they could qualify at Northfield. I shouldn't say that. They qualify right home at Northfield if they want to. But they're going to have to be ready to go before the 22nd. There's going to be no qualifying them just on the 22nd. And then I believe the first race for Perfect Thought is probably around the 1st of July.
Oh, the kindergarten?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she is eligible in kindergarten.
It's usually the first thing.
Yeah, the first one, you're right. So we'll see what we're doing in that regard. All right, I don't want to get too off track here. You already kicked me out of the site once. Where were we at? We were at Perfect Thought. You're right. We were at Perfect Thought. Pretty Eyes and Lies was good. Watch what I'm telling you. Another week of solid work, and then you're going to see all that tiredness and those soft legs are going to tighten up, and she's going to come go a big mile at qualifying time. She's just a baby learning right now. Remember what I told you. See if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Rico Tubbs, another horse. He needs to be drilled on just a little bit this week.
He's got it.
He just, the hobbles were too long, and then I don't know what happened the other day, but I'm not going to make excuses for him. He needs to do his work. I know when I sat behind him, he felt like he'd go as fast as I wanted to go with him. He's going to get a chance.
Gone with him since he had hobbles put on.
Yeah, he's going to get a chance to go a little faster this week, I think. Riding the rodeo, again, they're going around 213, 214 in the jog cart at Mohawk this Wednesday coming up. Rose Run Bobby was sharp today. She was a little bouncy.
Oh.
But
did you jog her?
Yeah, I don't know why you get so excited. So she wants to play around.
Did you put the snake cord on her?
Of course I did. I jogged with an open happy bridle. She was jogging around everybody, and she just leaped up in the air once. She was just playing around. Why do you get so upset about that?
I don't get upset about
No, I see you. You're like frazzled when she does it.
Because she needs to grow up.
She's a baby.
And also, the other day, we were in the infield on the backtrack. That's not a place you want to be with a jog cart.
No, you shouldn't be in there. Why were you in there?
Because she was upset that a horse was jogging up behind her quickly.
Just talk to her and let her bounce around for a sec. She's just playing. She was bouncing around a little bit today. She was just having fun. Big Bobby. She'll go. I don't think I want to go any more than 2.8 or 2.9 with her on Wednesday. So we're probably going to have these sets will be based more on speed than anything else on Wednesday. And there's only 6 allowed in the gate, so it'll either be sets of 5 or 6. It'll be Jason, you, I, Tyler, maybe Johnny or Eric. So we have lots of riders to do the work. Royal Duchess. I'm going to go a slow mile with her.
Oh, I need to tell you about her.
Why? What'd she do?
She had a different pair of hobbles on the day that she trained.
Why?
Because they couldn't find her hobbles.
Where were they?
I found some on the back of the door.
Yeah, where were her hobbles?
At the moment, I don't know.
So they just up and walked away?
Unlikely.
Yeah, so they better be found on Monday.
But I feel like, not that I'm making excuses, but she never runs.
Well, her hobbles were too long the other day when she ran. I told Tyler that when he pulled up. I said, he goes, I pulled them in, and if you go back and watch the video, he is pulling them in the center field. You didn't see him pull them in.
She wears them tight.
Yes, and he had them in about 4 holes from where they needed to be, maybe 5. So but he did pull them in. Yeah. So those hobbles going to be found tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you can still tighten every hobble if it doesn't matter what set. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I'm not going to find him tomorrow. I keep thinking
it's Sunday. He'll be in the barn tomorrow on Mother's Day. Who do you think you're kidding? Wow. Ice is looking for a mom. Royal Flush Dio is getting better every week. I like still knuckling over a little bit, still some immaturity there, but he is improving. Simply Chaotic. I can't wait to see this horse race. Can't wait to see him race. He'll be training again. They're going to go around 13 or 14.
We started him on 6C, just so you know.
That's fine. That's fine. The Solidarity was great. I just want to see continued progression from him. He looked very strong. He had to come 29 or 30 seconds when I come 30 seconds with Dune, because he was behind me and catching up down the lane. Steady Volo, again, he'll catch up to them and get going also. My plan is Kentucky. I talked to Eric a little bit about it today. I said, Kentucky's starting to look good. Jailbird, I know she's New Jersey, but New Jersey will be if she is ready to rock. And regardless of New Jersey, even if she's...
Can't you do both?
Well, that was what I was going to say. She's not going to stay there for a number of stakes, but she can go there for the Sire Stakes and then go back to Kentucky. But not if you want to go to Oak Grove.
Why don't you skip Oak Grove?
We can skip New Jersey altogether.
Lexington.
Either way, we can do either or both. We'll figure that out closer to the races. So Steady Volo, I'm more focused on, I want to have this horse ready to go for Lexington. I'm not really worried about anything else. What's that? Oh, the little kid with the bat, yeah. Steph's Hope, one of the most improved horses over the last 3 months. If you'd have told me, we're just going to do this filly's knees and they're never going to bother her again, I would be thoroughly shocked. But that's exactly what took place apparently this spring. They haven't bothered her since. Sterling Hanover was very, very good the other day training. I didn't text Felix about the shoeing changes on Sterling Hanover. That's what I want to do. I knew I forgot about doing something. Supermind was great the other day too. He'll be going behind the gate in a 2.8, 2.9 setting, I believe. He's ready to go. Sweet Lake was very good the other day also. Really, really proud of what this filly's become. Tomboy Strong. You can tell them about Tomboy Strong. I haven't gone with her in forever.
It's the same every week. You can put her anywhere. She doesn't matter if she's on the front or if she's... Was that the one I cut it with her, didn't I?
You did. You cut it with her and I beat you with Jailbird Jog.
Yes, because I couldn't. She can't. You got the jump on me, I think, in the last turn.
If you're coming wide open around the last turn, you're going to have the momentum, and if you can carry it at all, they're sitting ducks. There's nothing you can do.
I was also afraid I was going too much, so I thought you were going to yell at me.
You were actually going exactly as fast as you were supposed to be going. Exactly as fast. Uncle Danny, again, top of the food chain on the colt side, again, continues to be. He just toyed with everybody the other day. Johnny drove him, came first over, and just dummied everybody. The horse just looks like a machine. If he stays like this through to July, I just think we got a really, really nice colt on our hands with Uncle Danny. And where's the last one? Uncle Danny, Woodmere Bullet, 2:15 in the race bike the other day, last half in 5, Smitty told me, and said he was really, really good. Top 3 horses this week for you on the yearling side.
You forgot Xena.
I do that every week.
Why?
I don't know why. I do it every week. And Jill and Jim get angry at me every week. I forget about her. Xena Kemp is, I made a list of 9 horses that are A+ top of the food chain horses right now, and Xena Kemp was on that list. Oh, yeah? She has been awesome. Xena Kemp has been great. You went with her. Tell them better.
What do you want me to say?
Well, you can tell them she's a brown horse, or you can tell them how she went. I don't know what to tell you.
She went really... But the video shows you that she went good. I didn't think I was going to win, but...
She was very, very good.
She was going.
So, again, top 3 horses this week.
This week that I trained?
Top 3 quick. You're on the clock.
Oh, top 3 that I trained.
No, top 3 at all. At all.
Top 3 at all?
Sure.
Xena, for sure.
Yep.
Jailbird.
Yep.
And I gotta put Capistrano Knights.
Wow, impressive. I was gonna say we have the same list. Xena, definitely. Jailbird Jog, definitely. Capistrano Knights was impressive. She wasn't going to be mine. I think.
Oh, you get to look at the list. And
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but it's true. I'm just gonna go safe, and. I'm trying to think of the horse I was thinking of. You had Xena? And who's the other one? Who's the other one? Xena? Oh, I know who I'm going to go with. In New York. Horse was amazing this week training. Amazing. Yeah, easy. Easy 3. So that's a little list for you guys about the 2-year-olds. We'll talk about the 3-year-olds in a minute when we're on our way back. Ollie, how was practice, Ollie?
Hot.
Hot? That's how it's supposed to be. You take care. I will talk to everybody very, very soon.